Hey y'all, what's up? I haven't made a face-to-face in a while, so I figured I'd bless y'all with my presence. Um, anyway, so I was watching American Idol, Hulu, and there's this one, like, small town or whatever, and it had, like, a Freemason compass on the city, like, welcome to wherever, and I was just like, that's one way to add the Freemason symbolism to your show is just show the sign and then it happens to have Freemason lodges everywhere, whatever. But then it got me to thinking, like, in an earlier video, we showed how the Freemason compass, of course, is a 90-degree angle. And the compass, well, the ruler is a 90-degree angle, and the compass is around 47 degrees, okay? So when you add those, it's 137, which we all know is part of the fine structure constant. And that value is hidden in Yahweh's name. You know, Yud He Vav He also looks like pi times 7 divided by pi to the 7th power. And once you get that, you also get the fine structure constant, or 0.007281, etc., with the inverse of which is 137. It's 1 over 137 equals that. Anyway, it just got me thinking how even with that secret, with the Yahweh's name indicating light speed, it could still be Satan, because you know, what does the book of Timothy say? Satan is disguised as an angel of light. So he's going to hide that stuff in him and say, well, see, it's light in my name, so it's got to be me. No, you're just pretending. So the Freemason compass represents 137, which represents Yahweh, which represents the beast. And I just read I reread, because I've read it a lot, Nietzsche's so-called forgery, My Sister and I, that he wrote after Ecce Homo and all of his other books from 1888. This is when he was in the insane asylum. And I, for one, believe it was him, whereas most Nietzsche scholars don't. So, of course, I'm definitely going to have more bias towards it. But what's crazy is on page 120, he says the Christian God is actually a mask for Satan and the devil finds his most ardent worshipers in the churches. And this is precisely what we go into. How, yes, the Bible is real, but there's a huge deception going on. Yes, God is real, but Satan is infiltrating, pretending to be God. Having Christians celebrate pagan holidays like Easter and Christmas, and making the whole religion of Christianity basically one big forgery, one big mocking of the true religion. So once again, Nietzsche's instincts are right. And, whenever I get to talk to that dude in the afterlife, I'll let him know my findings. Once again, as Walt Whitman said in his Leaves of Grass, oh, that the masters might return to study me. Okay, now he's hanging up in heaven with all his masters supposedly, and, who knows. Another thing, I like black metal because I like music and I like hard, intense stuff because it's the only thing that keeps up with my emotions. I'm sorry, Justin Bieber just doesn't fulfill my drive. So I listen to black metal, even though I don't agree with the lyrics, of course. But I find it ironic how Satanism wants to call out how evil Christianity was, but then they raped and pillaged our Norwegian pagan temples with their stupid churches, and that's fine or whatever, but black metal is about being evil. So you can't try and use black metal as an excuse to be more virtuous than the church if you are actually doing more evil than the church is doing and promoting evil. Okay, I'm not talking about everything. I'm talking about like literal hardcore Gorgoroth bands, like pure Satan. It's only about Satan. Well, here's the thing: if you want to say the Bible, the God of the Bible is evil because of all the evil things he does, and yet you want to be evil, that's one topic. But if you want to get even deeper like me, say, well, all the evil in the Bible wasn't God. It wasn't an unjust God. It was Satan pretending to be God with the Yahweh title. So there's a lot of layers to this conspiracy, y'all, and I just want y'all to know it's a lot more complicated than what is cool. What is cool is to make things simple. What's not cool is saying all the intricacies and all the gray areas and explaining those gray areas. I'm sorry, that's like my job. Explain gray areas. Okay. Let's see. Just scrolling through my notes here. So yeah, Hawaii was awesome. By the way, I went there for a week with my family, sister and my mom and some of her friends, and it was amazing. I hadn't been since 2011. Totally loved every moment of it. At first, I was a little anxious on the flight because I'd never flown alone that long, like 7 hours or whatever, but it was all good. I just really smooth flight. But I thought it was interesting how the Hawaii zip code for all the islands is 808. And of course, I'm born 8:08 a.m. 2/10/1987. So I thought that was cool. And then I saw the zip code for, I was like, which state has zip code 210? Because I was born February 10th, 210. And it was Texas. San Antonio's zip code is 210. So it's interesting how like the two main lands that represent my culture are also in my birthday. 8:08 a.m. is the 808 Hawaii zip code. 210, February 10th, is the Texas zip code for San Antonio. Awesome. Still doing a lot of Alan Green studying. He's got so many things. Like, isn't it just incredible to know that the Shakespeare sonnets hide not only sacred geometry numbers and pi and e and things that weren't even known at the time, supposedly, but John Dee, one of the mystics of the time and who knew all the secrets, helped these guys out. Like, Shakespeare wasn't just Bacon. It was Bacon and De Vere and John Dee and whoever else, but mostly Bacon, in my estimation. Alan Green seems to lean more on the De Vere side, which is fine. He's definitely involved, but Bacon's even more of a contender, in my opinion. Because even Ben Jonson, the famous poet, he says the same exact phrasing in Bacon's eulogy as he did with Shakespeare's eulogy as well, or the intro to the first folio. He says, he mentions insolent Greece and haughty Rome. Okay, he mentions that in the Shakespeare dedication and the Bacon eulogy. Why would he use that exact same phrasing for different people? Okay, because, yeah. Let's see. I'm all good with feminism, but these days they're just trying to they think feminism means acting more manly. It's kind of like defeats the whole purpose. Like, feminism is about accepting your yin, feminine, gentle characteristics, but now they're just saying, well, women are as strong as men and can beat you up. That's not feminism. That's you being a bully. And men need to be more feminine and stuff. And not the whole gay thing, but we need to get in touch with our hearts and emotions, a little bit more. It's nothing to do with your sexuality, just the yin and yang of the whole situation. And today, feminism, they just want to get rid of the yin and make everyone yang and aggressive and mean, whereas we should have like a balance between both. That's like my whole screen name, Gadaoist. It's a mixture of guitar and Taoism, the yin yang religion. So I've always been very tied to that unity and polarity. You know what I'm saying? Let's see here. Yeah. Let's see. I think that's it for now. Kind of looking for a different job. Actually, I'm kind of on the hunt. Kind of tired of sitting at home all day. It's really getting to me. Like, I'm so bored. I want to have a reason to go outside of my house other than getting groceries, but it's all good. I just gotta, get on the grind, because a lot of these companies are laying off so many people, and it's really bad right now. And so it's gonna be a struggle, but at the same time, it's supposed to be like we have to strive for what we want. It can't just be handed to us. Yeah, I think that's all for now. Mars Volta is touring again, which is awesome. But Omar needs to make more music. I mean, he used to make an album a year, bro. Like, bring that back. We love it. We want all of it. Just keep going. We don't care if it sucks. It'll be better than anything we hear right now. Anyway, let's see. Sorry, I'm just scrolling through my notes here. Not as organized as usual. But it's all good. You know what I can do is this really quick. I know you can't see what I'm doing, but I'm going to my Instagram. Okay. Oh yeah, I got Duncan's Ritual of Freemasonry, just the book, just to kind of read it. And I mean, the intro says if you're not a Mason, you're not going to know what any of this stuff is, and it's not going to mean that much to you, and that's fine. But, you know, as Aristotle says, it's the mark of an educated mind to be able to consider something without believing it. Okay, and that's what I do, is I consider stuff a lot. And I'm not just someone who said, I don't believe that, and not read it. I say it because I've read it, because I've studied it, I now know that I don't believe it. Most people are just taught to not look at it at all, and then that therefore they shouldn't look at it. You know, there's a Nietzsche quote, sorry for all the quoting. Nietzsche says, the surest way to corrupt the youth is to teach them to hold in higher esteem those who think alike than those who think differently. Okay? Like, just because you think a certain way means you should trust that kind of person more, type of thing. And that's totally spot on right now with today's identity politics and whatnot. And I actually, I got to bring back from Hawaii a ukulele. Okay, and it wasn't just a cheap one I found at a flea market. It was actual family ukulele. So it actually really means a lot to me. I'm a guitarist, of course. So as a guitarist, ukulele comes a little natural to me. A little more natural. Let's see, almost done here, y'all. Yeah, I think that's it for now. Let's end it with the longest word in Shakespeare play. In Love's Labour's Lost, there's a 27-lettered word, let's see if I can get it. Honorificabilitudinitatibus. Yeah, I got it. Anyway, I'll post that in the link. But it's not just there to poke fun and kind of do an impressive word game to like show off. Like honorificabilitudinitatibus is actually 287 in the Elizabethan gematria, and 287 is a huge Rosy Cross number. Okay, it's like essentially means Frau Rosy Cross in that gematria and stuff. So I just find it very cool that, yeah, it's a cool letter to show off your brain or whatever and show off you can say big words, but it's even cooler that it's there for a purpose. It's there to fulfill the Frau Rosy Cross, Rosicrucian gematria codes that are clearly in the Shakespeare folios that us mere mortals just don't know. Although the Illuminati know it, it's all been confirmed with them, but we, on the other hand, you know, we have to find out with YouTube videos like this. And so, I mean, Francis Bacon wrote a letter to the poet John Davies, March 28, 1603. At the end of it, he says, "So desiring you to be good to concealed poets, I continue your very assured Francis Bacon." Concealed poets. Why would a scholar scientist say, be good to concealed poets like me? Well, because he was Shakespeare. Okay? Where was Shakespeare born? Stratford. How many times is that mentioned in the first folio plays? 0. Where is Francis Bacon born? St. Albans. How many times is that mentioned in the plays? At least 15. Okay, so Shakespearean Stratfordians who believe the normal mainstream story, they want to seem all educated, like, I'm so smart that I study Shakespeare, but you can't explain any of these anomalies because you're not wanting to know the truth. You want to perpetuate an agenda, a very simple life is easy type thing. But ironically, once you know Bacon and Shakespeare, it just enriches everything. It makes it makes the plays more interesting and life more interesting, because if the founder of Freemasonry happens to be the greatest English writer of all time, according to a lot of people, I find that interesting. And I find that since Bacon has whole books about ciphers, then if he's Shakespeare, he's going to hide the ciphers in the plays. And of course, I made, 50 videos already showing this stuff, but I like to confirm it for the people who think it's hogwash and don't even want to click those things. Anyway, it was about 15 minutes. All right, y'all take it easy. I think I'm going to go shave or something later.